So this is the view from the Sun Lounge on Agape today. We're coming up on our third day. We've gone about 375 miles. We took a little detour out into the Atlantic. We had some contrary wind and waves, so we had to kind of fight our way back. It's pretty calm today, so we're motoring. Only about 5 knots of wind. You can see the sea's pretty calm. We had some struggles with the Gulf Stream yesterday. We kind of got stuck in it for a while. We had to motor actually a little bit northwest to get out of it, and then we were kind of in the edge of it. But we found a nice counter current that was about 1 knot headed south right off the edge of the Gulf Stream, and we kind of rode that most of last night, and just enjoying my coffee up on the sun deck. It's probably about 65 degrees, a little bit of a breeze, but not bad. And doing a little reading and watching. Betsy's inside resting. She had the watch earlier this morning. So we should be in Norfolk area tomorrow in the morning. Hit the mouth of the Chesapeake probably first daylight, and head up to Mobjack Bay for a couple days, wait out some southerlies till we can get around Cape Hatteras. So how was the time on the sun deck?
Perfect.
It's beautiful. Are you enjoying the trip?
Now I am. You asked me 2 days ago.
Yeah, it's pretty calm out here. No complaints really, except we have to motor. But after bashing around in big waves and wind for 2 days, we're kind of enjoying this. It's very calm. We only have about 4 or 5 knots of wind kind of on our beam. And it's going to slowly move around to our stern this afternoon, this evening, and get even lighter. So tomorrow morning we might have glass out here. We'll have to wait and see. But we're just a little about half hour past 3 days into this passage. We've got to see dolphins a few times. We've had some big sailing and big waves and big wind, and now we've got some pleasurable motoring. We've gone about 375 miles in 3 days. Pretty much about a 5 knot average. Got stuck in the Gulf Stream, got out of the Gulf Stream. Now we're kind of riding a little counter current down the coast. It's about between half a knot and a knot, and so we're able to motor pretty efficiently. We're about 80 miles from the entrance to the Chesapeake Bay in Norfolk Harbor, so we should be there in the morning. And we will go up to our anchorage off Mobjack Bay and settle in for a couple days. There's supposed to be some winds from the south that's not going to let us go around the Cape. You can see how calm this water is. It's just really getting smooth. And the only bad thing is you can't sail. The boat got a little salty. Can't really see it, but basically the boat's got salt spray all over it from when we were bashing about in about 5 to 10 foot seas, and we saw a gust close to 30 knots, but mainly it was 15 to 23 knots of wind. That's cruising. So this isn't something that we do often. I think, matter of fact, this is only the second time, and that's barbecue underway. But as you can see, it is like crazy calm out here. Yes, this is the Atlantic Ocean. We're 30 miles offshore, but this is what it looks like if there's no wind at all for a good 8 hours. And you can see a few ripples out there, but it's pretty much glass. And we're just motoring along, headed for Norfolk. There's a ship out there on the horizon. Should be entering the mouth of the Chesapeake in about 14 hours. Now for dinner. Well, this is how gorgeous it can get out here. We're 30 miles offshore, the Atlantic, off the coast of Virginia, getting ready to go up the mouth of the Chesapeake in the morning, and just a beautiful, beautiful sunset. Almost no wind for quite a while today, so the sea is almost completely flat. Quite a change from 48 hours ago. Unfortunately, I don't think I can adequately capture this on video, but this is the moonrise. It is beautiful. Still water reflecting the moonlight, and it's almost red. Beautiful moon. So we're coming into the mouth of the Chesapeake, and it's kind of how it looks like on the chart. We appear to be getting a security from the Coast Guard. Seems to be a bridge problem, but sun's just coming up. And that's was by plan, that we kind of slowed down so that we could get here at daylight. Seems like we end up doing that a lot, but you know, just a matter of timing. You don't want to come into a busy harbor like the Norfolk Harbor at night. At least I don't. Lots of lights and lots of confusion. Plus the Navy ships here do not always have their AIS on. So you could have rather large vessels running around here at night with just their running lights on. So we've traveled over 500 miles in 4 days. And we've got about 50 miles left to go to the anchorage that we picked out, and hopefully it'll be uneventful trip across the harbor. Right now we don't see a lot of ships on the AIS, so it looks like a quiet morning here. We have to cross the ship channel because we have to go across the Transbay tunnel that goes under the mouth of the Chesapeake, and so everybody has to go across that narrow opening. There's two of them, and we'll be using the Up Bay channel. So we'll give you a little more when we get into the harbor. So we've come upon the I'm sure there's another name for it, but I call it the Up Bay Transbay tunnel crossing right here. And we've got a ship coming down from the bay, and we were going to meet right in the channel, and so I've slowed down here waiting for them to go through. Don't want to get run over by the commercial ship. So that's the ship that just cleared the channel, Bay Tunnel, and it's not very wide. I would say about 300-400 yards wide. So we didn't want to meet the ship in that narrow channel. Did not want to meet the ship in the narrow channel. So we have arrived just north of Norfolk after sailing a little over 600 miles in the last week, all the way from Kittery, Maine to Onset, Massachusetts, 2 nights there, and then on down here to Bryant Bay, which is just off of Mobjack Bay in the Chesapeake. And we stopped here to rest and wait for a weather window around Cape Hatteras, probably 3 to 7 days here. Looks like a nice anchorage.
Morning. Gonna come up again?
We have some dolphins in the anchorage this morning. We like dolphins. Yeah, they're out there looking for breakfast. Sometimes they like to show off. So that was quite the passage we had from Onset Bay down to where we're at now, which is off Mobjack Bay in the Chesapeake. So that was about 600 miles altogether, a little less, and we had strong winds, which you can see from the video, and got the boat going pretty fast, but kind of in the wrong direction, and that happens sometimes when you're out here sailing. You got to take what Mother Nature gives you sometimes, and but it did get us down here, and we're a little warmer. We were starting to get a little chilly up there. It was getting down into the 30s. Of course, it's going to get down into the 40s here, so still chasing us down south, but we're waiting in this bay for a nice weather window. We have learned the hard way to respect the Cape Hatteras. We took a somewhat tight weather window last year and ended up in hazardous surf conditions around the Cape, so we are looking forward to not repeating that experience this year. So we're going to wait for a nice solid weather window, and then we will head farther south, probably Lookout Bay, or possibly all the way down to Charleston, South Carolina. But yesterday it rained a little bit, so we were able to get the boat cleaned off, and today we're going to see about getting some diesel fuel. There's a marina nearby, looks a little tight to bring the boat in, so we'll take some fuel cans and the dinghy and see if we can't get 30 gallons of diesel. So it's a cool, calm morning in the anchorage here off Mobjack Bay. Almost no wind. You can hear the water running because we run a little bit of heat last night. Got down to 49, 50. And we've got our friends Mike and Susan are coming in on Polaris. They've been motoring down the Chesapeake all night, so they are eager to get their anchor down and get some rest. So we're here in the Bryant Bay anchorage, and we saw Polaris come in yesterday, and you know, they've been around us several times down the Bahamas and in Beaufort, and never got to meet them. So now you get to meet Mike and Susan on Polaris.
Hey guys, I'm Mike. That's Susan.
Hi, I'm Susan.
Yeah,
And we're on the Sailing Cat Polaris.
Polaris.
Yeah.
And that's a Helia?
That is a 2014 Helia. It's got all the bells and whistles now. And if you watch the postings, it'll be up for sale later this year, perhaps the first of the year.
Maybe
January?
next year.
January.
Next year.
January next year?
January next year.
Down in Fort Lauderdale?
It'll be available around the world.
Oh.
But the boat will be in Fort Lauderdale if you want it.
Yeah. So we're sad that we're not going to be cruising with you guys, but
Anyway,
we might take you
really
up on
good.
the crew offer.
We will be crew for you or anybody else that's willing to, you know, provide libations after the cruise and everything. We're good with that.
Libations are important.
They are. They are. It's what greases the wheels.
Well, we appreciate you guys being on Agape, and we appreciate you guys hanging with us and being good friends.
Thank you.
Thanks. We
appreciate
couldn't
you
ask for
guys.
better.
Yeah. So it was a little rainy, stormy night last night. Wasn't too bad, but it did wake me up. We've got another cat that joined us yesterday over there. It's starting to clear. We're making water, charging batteries right now. Haven't had a lot of sun last couple days, so the solar was not keeping up with the demands, especially this late in the year. We're waiting for a weather window around Cape Hatteras. We like nice weather around Cape Hatteras because Cape Hatteras could be kind of dangerous. We've had some bad trips before. Mike and Susan over there on Polaris will probably leave about the same time that we do. We're trying to make North Carolina or possibly Charleston, South Carolina. So we'll probably see that in the next video. We appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you like this video. And we'll see you next time.